scale that.
Steak every day and squats every day.
That's how. Welcome to Thicc Boy Fight Club. I'm your Balkan boy.
Tyson the Beast.
And our guest today is Darson Hemmings, one of the most accomplished competitive jiu-jitsu players in Canada, world champion, Pan Am champion, ADCC veteran, George Burrito black belt, and just an overall cool guy. So glad to have Darson on the show today.
But first,
shout out to our sponsors, Top Mutt Studios.
the top.
Tyson for always reminding us.
Phallon, for just being awesome.
Clinch Culture. Bearded Bites.
Mo Mind.
Blessed Edibles.
Major Pack.
Kimura Wear.
Just for Kicks.
Gas Tank.
I was going to say Gas Tank next.
Major Pack.
Did I say Kimura? Major Pack. Gotta do it for the gang. Who else?
All the gyms that support us, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, Delgado Boxing, Toronto Top Team.
Gang. Aegis.
Gang.
Niagara Top Team, everybody.
Everybody, all right?
If you got anybody, we'll get you on the next one, I promise.
All right. As for me, the restaurant shout out, I'm going home to Brampton to some of the best West Indian food also, not just Indian food. We got Jamaica Seafood. This is like a Jamaican seafood spot. I get the red snapper there all the time. Like you can get it steamed with okra, you can get ackee and saltfish. You can get like lobster linguine, even like random different stuff. Fire spot, Jamaica, right on Kennedy, like right in the hood in Brampton.
The ends. For me, it's a spot called The Waffle House. Actually on Lakeshore, Etobicoke as usual, but everyone usually knows my usual spot is Lucky's Chicken and Waffles, also in Lakeshore, Etobicoke. Sorry to y'all a little bit. I'll admit I cheat with the competition. The thing that got me with this place is they have a waffles, not just chicken waffles, but they have a waffles and lobster combo, and I'd never had that before, heard of it, so I had to try.
I've actually had that at the Waffle House.
They have a couple of different spots, blueberry waffles. They have dessert waffles.
They put that powdered sugar on top.
Yeah, powdered sugar. So super fire spot. Still love my Lucky's chicken waffles. I don't want them to get mad at me, but I had to try out the competition. So both spots are solid. So that's it for me.
I'll give my shout out to lovely Vietnam Noodle. They live right below me, and it's just perfect. Got that full on deck. Can't complain. And late night, can't complain. 12 o'clock, 1 a.m.
When you're not eating steak and eggs.
Well, I'm not eating steak and eggs, Gonna have that pho, that chicken and rice.
That's the spot.
Well, you're a thick boy for real, bro. You eating steak like every day, and like you train
represent
hard.
the life.
You
He
really
represents
represent the
guy
life.
has mats in his apartment. I've rolled in the underground apartment jiu-jitsu spot. Like
got that squat rack on deck.
Yeah, in his apartment. This guy's the truth.
Never
squat rack, mats, and steak.
And like those elevated lifters, I see you doing deadlifts. Like this guy is set.
Yeah.
Man, Darcy, we were just talking. Like you've even forgotten some of your accomplishments in jiu-jitsu. Like, why don't you just go through some
the
of
ones
them?
you can remember?
Like the ones you can remember.
The ones I can
you've been
remember.
on the scene for as long as I can remember.
Medals all over the place.
You've been on the scene as long as I can remember. I actually have one of my first matches against you. Actually, years ago. I don't even know if you remember that match.
Man, that match was wild because I remember like my coach actually. It's actually crazy because to be honest, that was like my breaking out. You know what I mean? Like I had some wins and losses. That was the first time, according to my coach, that he was like happy with my performance. Like
against you?
I went all the way. So like, yeah, bro. Like I had like three matches.
In the finals.
Yeah, 3 matches. I had a really tough guy, George Burrito. I think his name is Fredinho, and he was just like tough on the scene. My coach didn't want to tell me who he was even. He's like, oh, and he was also tough, and then. Just, I don't know, Boyan. You guys know Boyan, just an like original thick boy.
OG Angles.
OG, and it was just tough, like grinding it out. But you're talking about accomplishments and shit I've been through, and it's like start like from 2012 getting that world title, and a year before that, the Pan Am title in the no-gi. I just knew I needed to like look for something else, so I put the gi on and started training. 2015, got that Pan Am title in the gi. In the brown belt, and I just knew like, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that gi world title next, And since then, I've just been chasing it, and now like, it's almost 2022, and I still haven't gotten it yet. But like, I've gotten so close. You know what I mean?
I didn't know you won it that long ago. 2012.
2012 was my world championship.
Yeah, brown belt.
So when did you start doing jiu-jitsu?
And also my ADCC. When I debuted. Was 2012. I started training in 2008,
Wow.
And
And for all those
so
that
it's like
know,
a short
ACC
4
super
years.
impressive.
is the
4
highest
years.
level of no-gi grappling.
So in 4 years, you got the no-gi world title from the time of training till then.
Yeah,
That's
I basically legit I just knew it was a matter of putting 10,000 hours in according to the books I read.
10,000 hours.
So I'm like,
my guy.
So I just said to myself, like, I just gotta live in the gyms, you know. So I legitimately just lived behind my gym, lived inside of my gym, lived inside of fight houses to make sure I got my 10,000 hours in real quick, you know. So
That's crazy. That's some BJ Penn type legendary
Oh,
shit
yeah.
right there.
well,
He
it was
was-
fun for me, you know. It's an ultimate.
He was obsessed. He was obsessed. He
Yeah,
was, you know, he
it's
still is
the
obsessed.
ultimate video game, you know. And before then, like I was so young, I never had like adult responsibilities. I never knew what that was. So luckily for me, just right out of school, I'm like, oh, just continue on being a kid, you know. So living behind my gym, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing behind here? Like, you know, people are like, are you gonna go home? Like, nah, my car is parked here, you know. And I would just go.
And you live that life even now, because I remember like it was kind of one of those things where like the lockdown sucked, but like I remember going to your place.
Nothing
and that was
changed
one of
for you.
That was one of
Yeah.
my like, favorite things.
That's the crazy
was going
thing.
to train with you in
Well,
the
during the
spot.
lockdown, I'm laughing. I'm like, man, I've been through worse. You know what I mean? This is like
Thanks for the brand
like
too.
everyone's now like down to my level. You know, like we're gonna get gritty down here. You know, so I just made my mats in my house.
Yeah.
I got the
Going to your
workout,
house is
everything.
jokes.
I started teaching in the house,
I
started
used to love
training.
that.
Nothing slowed down. If anything, it just improved. It increased. You know?
You had to have gone, because I've been hearing about you. People like, ironically, somebody confused me with you last week, and forever, I don't know if it's just like I'm a black guy who does jiu-jitsu, but forever people are like, you need to train with Darson, you need to train with Darson. And so when that actually happened, I even was going out there to train with you at the spot, and like, if it wasn't for the lockdown, that probably wouldn't even have ever happened, right? Like,
Yeah,
Like, so that was,
we
that
met
was-
so
that
much.
was mad
We
fun.
met so much new people and like gained so much new skills. You know, like before that, I was actually going a little bit too hard. You know, I was just like, living in the gym is good, but eventually you gotta find like balance and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
can't
So like,
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
get like maybe a
Yeah.
girlfriend. And
get a
like,
girlfriend, work a little bit, you know. Like I started working like security, and like that was blessed,
out.
you know, right? The security work, Thicc boy representing on the clock, and I just kept the same jiu-jitsu mentality, like, you know, work hard, and you know things will come your way, you know. And during the job, I met some really cool guys. I met this guy Habib. He doesn't train jiu-jitsu or anything, but he was really good on the stock exchange, you know,
Cryptocurrency.
on that cryptocurrency. So I'm like, all right,
you've been
you know,
big on that.
I got
It's been a
real,
good
I
month.
got real deep. I got real deep on the crypto. Yeah, we're on Moonvember right now. We're mooning.
Been a good month.
So yeah, between him and Fidel, I just learned so much about the market. I'm like, I realized that because of the whole COVID thing, there's a huge crash. Everyone's getting rich, cashing in. I had no idea. I was just
Yeah,
at home,
sure. That's
you
the
know,
dip.
resting up from overtraining for many years, you know, and now I'm woken up to like, whoa, I could flip money. Like, what? Teach me the ways,
Yeah.
bro. So a couple days in, he just showed me a couple samples. He showed me his actual like gains. Like I was like, damn, bro. Like,
I need to sit down
don't
with
show
you.
me that, bro. You know what I mean? So I just started studying every day, like in jiu-jitsu, just watching videos on YouTube, on Google, researching the best players, the best traders, seeing what they do, learning their styles, their tactics. Before I know it, I'm just seeing myself get better because I see the white belt to blue belt, the stripes when I, you know what I mean?
when you see how much money you made.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
the way you're fusing those two, because
yeah,
like I love
jiu-jitsu
that.
is like, man, I wish I learned jiu-jitsu from a kid because it just taught me how to learn, you know. I went through a whole school system. I came out with no confidence and like just kind of beat up, you know what I mean? I met some cool friends, but jiu-jitsu, I met people who were like-minded individuals. I got built up with confidence. My teachers were happy to see me and happy to, hey, let me show you this stuff, you know, like that's what I felt school should have been. So I always use that to learn
deep.
whatever else I do in life.
So
you know?
you just made a very good comment that made me think of something. So you said taught you how to learn. Are you familiar with the guy Tim Ferriss by chance?
I've heard of the name.
Okay, so Josh Weiskins is one of Marcel Garcia's black belts. He's the guy who the book Finding Bobby Fish is about.
Okay, yeah.
So he's the actual real life kid in that movie and book, and he disappeared from the chess scene and came back and became one of Marcel's first black belts. Nobody knew about this until recently because he kept it a secret. He wrote a book about learning. He said a lot of that came from chess. He said the closest thing he could find that had those same applications was jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
And so that when you just said that, it's
But a
like
jiu-jitsu mindset helps you in life all the time. I find myself like, problem solving all the time, going back to the way I deal with things in jiu-jitsu, the way I can deal
so
with
he's also a
challenges
Wim
in
Hof
life.
guy. He's the guy who passed out at the New York pool and was under there for 8 minutes doing Wim Hof and survived.
That's it. Even
Passed-
Roosevelt.
Yes,
You
the
know
same guy.
Roosevelt.
This guy's like a. And so when you said that, I didn't know if maybe you'd read one of his books or something. But so when you kind of talk about that a little bit, because I always try to explain that to people about jiu-jitsu isn't just about beating people up. It's not just about having fun with your guys, but how you can take it into other aspects of your life, the discipline, kind of talk about that now that you're into the crypto thing.
So when I first started off, I was like anyone else. I just wanted to fight. I needed an outlet to take my anger out.
Yeah.
But really quickly, I learned that there's new techniques every single day, and there's new techniques being invented every single day. So I wanted to
It's like you can invent techniques.
Yes, I always tell my students, guys, show me something new, invent something new. There's new techniques every day. So my goal quickly changed from being a fighter to wanting to be a student. So that way I could be an inventor one day, and then add to the book of jiu-jitsu.
So, and in the process, you become a way better fighter.
Exactly. It turned
get
out
the
that way. It's
ultimate
like
goal.
I
You
had
get
the
the ultimate goal.
physicality still, but with the mindset of, hey, let me learn every day. Let me learn 1% every day. And that's exactly it. Learning 1% every day. Like even Brano is always promoting that, and he's always reading the same books. You know what I mean? It's really cool to see like someone else who's very, very high level in jiu-jitsu, always trying to add to the knowledge and using the jiu-jitsu to add to like anything else you do, whether it's lifting, running, studying. If I want to be a mathematician, my only issue is you need to love it. It all begins with the heart. If you love it, it'll take you anywhere else. So like right away, I just saw cryptocurrency is a quick way. It's the most direct way of money transferring. Instead of a new skill or a new doctor or whatever, let me learn to deal with money directly. And quickly I realized that it's the God gift. Like, man, like I started watching The Wolf of Wall Street, I started adding
Leo.
I started just to really like get into the space and started to realize really quickly that this is jiu-jitsu, but instead of using like techniques to submit you, I'm using techniques to grow my money. And I just quickly started seeing my money growing, and I was like, oh, I'm a believer now. I saw my money go from 1,000 to 5,000, and I withdrew it. I was like, that's crazy.
The biggest fun. So when you actually you can take it.
And you're like, whoa, I put it in like this, I took it out like that in like a days, like that's unbelievable, and then also I started looking into cryptocurrency. I'm like, man, my friends have been telling me about crypto since like 2012. Like if I had bought $1 of that, I would be a millionaire today. So I'm like, what do I gotta do? Yeah, it's a painful memory.
Shout out to Aaron Eli who tried to tell me in 2013.
Yes, shout out to everyone who tried to tell me. I'm sorry.
I'm listening
if you're
now.
still
I
out
know,
there,
Patty, I'm
if you're
sorry.
still
I
out
didn't
there,
listen to you. Now you're partying
it's okay,
in California.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Yep, they're
a
up in
lot of us were,
Dubai.
and we were in the martial arts world was one of the first places where I knew multiple people talking about
using the black market.
First 3 people I ever knew to openly talk about us were through mixed martial arts.
They're all fighters in the black market.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And that's why they weren't being listened to.
That's why we all knew. I'm like,
man,
your fake money. Keep your fake money. I got my dollar bill.
Even I as a fighter, it was more like
inflation. I don't even have my dollar bill anymore. What do you mean?
No, it's true, man. Yeah, the amount of guys in the fight community that were trying to give us heads up, it's crazy, man.
I'm glad I've met certain people. I'm out here buying the right things now.
Yeah,
Gold,
gotta stay woke.
And so what else? So now that with, like I said, this whole transition, how do you feel like you've come out of it? Because we don't know what's going to happen, but as of right now, I know a lot of you guys in the States, things have been normal for you guys a while. We're just kind of recently having a settled few months. What's it been like? What have you taken away from this lockdown and all your new experiences, whether it's jiu-jitsu, crypto, or both? What have you taken from all this?
Well, so I'm deeply invested. I'm waiting for that boom, of course. But in terms of fighting in jiu-jitsu, I'm just steadily teaching now, getting back into their privates. Everyone is so excited to get back into the fighting space because it's been taken away for years.
Yep.
That the fire.
We had the one tournament not too long ago.
We had the one tournament. There's been a couple more actually. I was reffing a little bit, and the energy is so vibrant that I just know that. It's like a dip in the market. When there's a dip, it'll bounce and come back even higher. So I feel like this is a healthy dip. People need that break. I need that break to learn to recover my injuries, et cetera, et cetera. And now, the gyms are going to be opening back up, and I'm just teaching in Hamilton, teaching in Brampton.
Shout out to Legends MMA.
Shout out to Legends MMA, Absolute BJJ. And, I'm just getting ready to potentially do another jiu-jitsu tour. I see a lot of these guys doing these jiu-jitsu tours now, and I gotta say, the first tour was me and Eric back in I think it was like 2012 or something on our world tour. We had a jiu-jitsu world tour, black and yellow, and it was such a crazy event.
Yeah,
People were
black
like
and yellow,
buying their
yeah.
tickets, and we're legit just like catching these buses all over the city, all over Toronto, all over Ontario, Canada. Even we went to Buffalo, even like in the States. It just grew exponentially and organically. We didn't even really try. We were just competing. We won the Europeans. And that was the first time anyone in Canada won the Europeans in the gi, you know? So I just continued on pushing, and we used that momentum to do our world tour. And since then, we've done like one or two more, and we've just, and now we've just been resting, kind of chilling out. But we're coming back hard. You know, I'm driving now, which is a huge thing in Toronto. A lot of people don't drive in Toronto. We're just all about TTC or whatever, but getting that car, it's been a blessing. You know, I'm always like keeping my faith.
You can go to Hamilton,
exactly.
Brampton,
I'm traveling like crazy. I'm being a jiu-jitero like what I was in white belt, blue belt days. And it just feels so much better to just you know, it feels great. You know, I'm training with you guys, Boyan, Tyson up in guys, Brampton, everything. Like, it just feels good again. You know what I mean? I was stuck in one gym for a long time, which is great, but my roots is I've always been like train my friends, train my basement, train here, train there. Yeah. And that actually prepares me for tournaments. It always prepared me for the matches because I'm new every week. I'm like, I'm fighting new people every week. And you know how that is. No one wants to lose. You know what I mean? No matter how much, gentle we're going, we're still trying to come out with the W. So that built me a lot. You know, I was training with Michael and Parado back then. I didn't have a car, but he would drive me to all these different gyms, and we were like blue belts trying to take out these black belts, trying to take out the instructor even. Like,
you know, that's what I'm on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, we were what do you call it, like gym rating or whatever.
I used to gym rate all the time at Brampton. Just show up, pretend to not know anything in the class, and then it's rolling time, and you're just trying to take out the
especially Nogi. Everyone's unassuming, right?
Yeah,
I'm assuming with my Ed Hardy shorts on, like I'm a surf boy, like, and then boom, you know, like,
shorts,
right? Yeah,
so wear my sweat,
especially back in the day, I didn't have the right gear, bro. I had a bunch of t-shirts and balling shorts from like back in like high school days, right?
Like you play basketball,
yeah, bro.
I still troll like that, bro. Who you kidding?
I
still troll like that.
I was in a thick boy tank and some like football tights, and they're like,
they're like, oh, that must be Darson for sure. Yeah, bro, that's my style, bro. Well, when I first started, I had one kimono, bro. I started training in the gi, but one kimono. It was a judo gi, gifted down to me by a Muay Thai fighter.
Same. I had a judo gi gifted from Brian.
Gifted down by a Muay Thai fighter.
Doing jiu-jitsu.
Oh man,
that's the best thing about fighting.
Shout out Sasha. I haven't seen this guy in forever, but man, he was like one of my first privates. Like, trust me, I've always just been blessed with a couple of privates, always just a couple that kept me like afloat back in the day when I had nothing but jiu-jitsu, living in the gyms, living behind the gyms, living on top of the gyms, living in my own basement. I turned into a gym, my bedroom into a gym, like just everywhere.
Yeah, we were rolling on your kitchen floor.
Kitchen, right? Like,
yeah, that was so much fun.
Go to a hotel, you just cleared a space for training in the hotel, like, right? Go to the beach, just maybe wear some goggles or something, but we're rolling in the beach.
I remember this girl was like working her like professional job from in home, and we're like slamming into the walls.
Yeah.
He's like, you just
and she's just fully designing away. Like, yeah, there's just the usual, like just crazy jujitsu.
I want to ask, when you thinking of competing again?
So I'm going to do my team annual, which is just like a small tournament on December 4th. But depending on how I feel, I'm legitimately looking forward to like making a really good run in 2022 when they reopen everything. I want to look for that. Again, I'm just chasing that world title.
So you're going to use the regional tournaments
as
practice?
Like you're in competitive weight. That's why I said
I'm down to my weight now. Last year I was like touching 165.
You was a buck like 80.
Lifting every day. I might even touch 170. Maybe.
Nah, you were heavy. Remember, you came to the gym in denial.
It was like 178.
No,
it was definitely not 180. I would remember.
Like a buck 79. I remember you trying to say you were like 160.
I will not deny though. I was full Hulk. I was full Hulk.
You were full Hulk.
We're posting the pictures. I'm gonna send her the pictures to post.
I gotta see it. But I remember I was like, no, I'm 150. I'm 150. There's no way. I step on a scale like, what? How?
I died when
I
I was
went
like,
home. I bought a scale that day.
Steak
I'm like, I
every
need a
day
scale
and
now.
squats
I
every
didn't-
day.
I-
That's how.
because I'm the guy at the gym when guys try to lie. I'm like, we have a scale.
Yeah.
Like, word?
They're all
That's
judging
what
me
we
that I'm
do.
heavier than I am. I'm like, nah, you guys are. I'm gonna like bet my mom on this.
You were
Mom,
bigger than
sorry.
me. You were just D's, bro. I was like, this dude's not.
I couldn't believe it. I
get that
couldn't
boy on
believe it.
the
I was like,
scale.
my deadlifting is paying off. My squat rack is like, everything's paying off. So yeah,
That's
it
how
was
you know he
blessed.
just loves shrimp because like I couldn't imagine being that much bigger and not being aware of it. Like imagine one day I'm like 190, I'm like,
Well,
what you talking 170?
Before that, I was doing cardio every day. I was Ubering on my bicycle. So the moment
Oh, yeah.
I had a chance to like just end that, I was like, I'm done. I'm done the bike. I just started to just lift every day.
You were huge,
and just
bro.
just lift, sleep, minimal jujitsu because even jujitsu would be killing my cardio, bro. I can't be burning any calories. I'm just minimal jujitsu and just lifting in the morning, lifting at night.
So no wonder you got huge. Bro.
I have the
You're
photo
gonna
of
get-
us
just
at the gym, and I'm
focusing
gonna
on getting
find it.
jacked, bro. I legit just
But now you're
want to
slimming
be
back
huge.
down for your competitive weight, which is what weight class is that?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was ready to compete at a heavier weight class, but then I got uninspired when the lockdown happened even further. Now I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
there's
never
no.
ending.
Yeah, I'm like,
Who's
it's
gonna
never
maintain
ending.
all this eating and lifting?
Yeah, so I'm like, F
Big boy
this. I
child.
just
That's how we
like
do
I was
it.
just done with it, and that's why I haven't really been lifting, but. I've been teaching so much. I feel sharp. My jiu-jitsu feels sharper than ever. I used to be a purely guard player. For 8 years, I only played
Yep,
guard. Like I
yep.
was.
You were known as the guy who just rolled in.
Yeah, not only did I
Like-
do only nogi, I only played guard. If
Bruh.
I got on top, I would just do a weird move to end up back in guard. You know what I mean? Like, and then my specialty was to bolo to
Bare
your
bolo,
back
yeah.
to avoid getting on top. You know what I mean? I did not want to be on top so much. Right?
Well,
I
this
had
guy
a
would
whole
come in like
thing.
Snoop Dogg to every tournament.
Yeah.
No warm up, just
Yeah. I'm way too lit.
Unassuming.
I'm way too lit. I'm not even trying to walk, bro. I just pull guard right away, bro.
Right
My
away.
legs are like, what are you
And
doing?
he would win all the tournaments like that.
Yeah, bro. I'm just like, once I pull guard, it's just zen. You know what I mean? Just control. I always tell my students, it was a Lloyd Irvin quote: "No technique can be completed with one hand." So I just grab one hand and
Irvin.
dominate it. And as I dominate it, you could try a bunch of techniques, but you only have one hand available.
That's exactly how I feel like about wrestling.
Yep.
Right,
That's
yes.
my whole philosophy on wrestling.
Yes.
Wrist
Right.
control all the
Wrist
time.
control.
Yeah.
Right. Judo, wrist control. That's where I got it from. It's Lloyd Irvin's book. It's called Underground Grip Fighting Secrets 2.0. And so I listened to the DVD. It was like 18 hours long. Roddy Ferguson, he's an Olympic champion in the
Is
in the
Lloyd
judo.
Irvin the one who has the gym out east and has Super Sadiq and all those guys?
Yeah. They're
man.
dangerous
He's got
in the
some
nogi.
killers
They're
coming out there,
dangerous. They
man.
have a lot of killers. So a lot of
got some
respect for
killers
those
coming out
guys.
there.
So I'm all about controlling the hand. I was fortunate enough to go down and train at Ryan Hall. I can't say if or if not he's into the marijuanas, but let's just say when he
How many
goes out and
marijuanas does he
fights, he has a
smoke?
similar style. He's like very asleep. He like Ryan Creepy Hall, he'll just
His
kind of
whole
come out
energy's like that, yeah.
and he just pulls guard and he just starts wrapping you up,
Before you know your leg is
And he's
gone.
like, and that's where you learn the dark arts. The fucking
Yes, I was down there for a year.
What'd you call it? Red lightsaber.
Right? Yeah, the red lightsaber
Yeah, the leg
jiu-jitsu.
locks, man.
Right?
Leg locks.
Yeah,
Everyone fears
he
those.
really loved the heel hooks and stuff. He didn't hold back at all when he would roll with me. Like he would just be smashing any technique, any leg lock. He was like, you just got tapped right away when you're rolling him, But otherwise, like until he taps you, he's like such a chill. Like he would like 0 to 100. You know what I mean?
That's the style.
That's
though.
the style.
It's like
yeah.
a snake. The way a snake moves. Like
Yeah.
He actually told me something I
Strikes.
didn't know, that you had actually competed in an MMA fight. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did want to touch on that.
Yeah,
you did
yeah.
have an MMA
I
fight.
do. I do have.
You're
one
1-0 as a
I do
pro.
have one MMA
So
fight.
what was that? Just
1-0.
something you want to do as a bucket? Because when I met you right away, I thought like, why isn't this guy fighting? And I know it's not everybody's goal.
But me and Tyson have that bias where we like
We
always
are,
want
we
to-
are.
I started
But
off
then he told
wanting
me
to
you
be a
did it.
fighter.
Yeah,
I
he
started
told me
off
you did
straight
it.
up. Like I actually, before moving to Toronto, I was in London, Ontario, training with Sean Tompkins. Rest in peace.
Really? The
Yep.
kickboxers.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
legend.
I was very.
Yeah.
My
I did not
high,
know
my
that
high
about you.
school teacher brought me there to train Mr. Bouchard, and I want to go see this guy and like thank him. Like, bro, you started me off on a path you don't even understand. Like, I went from like training my biceps, getting like a little ball in the bicep, to being like meeting Sean Tompkins, kickboxing with Mark Hominick,
Yeah.
Sam Stout, Chris
Hordesky.
Hordesky. Yeah,
Wow.
seeing Chris Hordesky on the TV, like just seeing how young he was,
Yeah,
that was so
IFL, was
inspiring.
it?
Yeah, IFL. I was a big fan. Seeing Wagney, I remember having an argument with my coach. I thought Hordesky won. And then my coach was like, "No, Wagney won or something." And I was like, no, Hordesky. But I remember,
Are you serious?
I remember missing the final fight. But I remember like on the news, like, "No, my boy won." You know, I didn't really know anyone to see. But my coach almost hated me because he knew who Wagney was. I didn't even know who Wagney was.
Yeah,
my
legend.
coach knows Wagney, like
gotta get
knows.
Wagney on here,
You
by
know what
the
I
way.
mean? And now I know Wagney. I'm like, of course he would like want
Yeah,
to kill me
of
for
course.
saying that. Like, bro,
Wagney's
now
a legend, yeah.
I know Wagney too. You know.
So
but,
did you just
but
do the
regardless,
one-off?
those guys like were my heroes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So how did you get away from that though?
Yeah, because like I heard you did really well.
I
really
signed
quick.
up for a Pat Miletich camp. I'm in London, Ontario, like not even 18 yet.
Miletich camp.
I was trying to go to Pat
Illinois?
Miletich, and I don't even know
bro,
where.
how my boys
I just
down
know
there?
I just know I'm up in the mountains trying to train because I want to be a fighter. I just got so much like pent up like rage, you know. I ended up moving to Toronto, moving to Brampton with my family. And looking for jiu-jitsu. I'm just beating up my younger brother, working techniques on him, trying to like discover this on YouTube, watching Marcelo. Thank God I found Marcelo somehow.
Yeah, the Bible.
The
You
Bible.
You
The
put me on
Bible. I
Marcelo
found the
Garcia.
Bible
You
right
put me on,
away.
and like that was the game for smaller
Marcelo
guys
Garcia?
versus big
Yes,
guys. You know,
right.
like
X guard.
back
I'm like, man, I
feed,
could
beat-
manipulate somebody's body.
Now, was
like,
there
I could, like a puppet. You know, what I
and
mean?
just arm drags all
Yeah.
day and guillotines. Oh,
Yeah.
Was there a
right?
specific set of his videos you watched, or you just his YouTube, or was there?
I would
anything
watch his
specific?
matches religiously. Even in
Yeah.
my last high school class, like I had to come down to a final semester. I'd be like showing my friends, like, guys, you gotta watch this guy. Like, watch what he's
He's
doing.
doing a lot of stuff with
And he's
BJ
going
J
crazy.
Fanatics now. I see him doing a lot of stuff with that. What's the Brazilian guy name behind that?
I don't know.
You know what I'm
I can't
talking
remember
about.
his name, but
he
yeah.
had Khabib on there. This guy has
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
huge.
ridiculous, man. Gordon Ryan's been on
BJJ
there.
Fanatics is huge. You've been on
Yeah,
BJJ
yeah.
Fanatics featured, no?
I haven't been featured,
No,
but
I'm-
I've definitely watched her stuff.
What's that
No.
guy's name? Really good competitor.
Bernardo
Brazilian.
Floria.
Yes,
That's his name. I
yes.
don't know how I
Bro,
remember,
yeah,
but I got
don't know.
mad stoner memory,
Do you know anything
bro.
about
I
his
came out of nowhere.
before we wrap up? Because I'm very intrigued how this guy gets Khabib, Gordon Ryan, Danaher, Marcelo Garcia. Like Marcelo Garcia and Gordon Ryan are
I'm
not on the same
shocked.
page. Do you know what he's doing that's getting these?
I hear that DVDs are selling like crazy
must be.
nowadays. I didn't really believe it, but like,
Khabib? When I saw that, I was like,
I have aspirations to make a DVD too with like me and Eric were trying to do
Yeah.
like a Berimbolo thing with Joey Samoas. And
Really?
I was never really into it, but now I'm seeing all these DVD
You got
sales
it,
and
bro.
blah blah
You
blah. I'm
have
like,
to.
man,
I've trained with you, and your
I
way
need
of
to
describing.
push
I
that.
think you would be amazing. You have a good character, good energy on camera. I think even
I
I
would
can't
love
wait to
to.
watch this. Like I think that's definitely something you should go into. I think that'd be perfect for your lane.
But you gotta tell us about the MMA fight. Like, how'd you end up?
Yeah, before we wrap this up, tell
Yeah,
us how that.
so I end up training jiu-jitsu all over, end up going to train with Sam Zakula, and I still had that memory if I want to fight MMA in my head, you know. So I had the opportunity. Some guy just said, "Hey, there's a fight available," and
What was it? Halifax or something?
Ohio or something like that, right? Where
you
it
went
was
to the States.
legalized.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just barely legalized across the border. So I'm like, yeah, I'll fight. You know, show me my opponent. I'm like, oh, cool. You know, like at that time I was already winning a lot of jiu-jitsu matches. I feel like I could beat this guy. I don't think my coach wanted me to fight, or maybe he was busy. I can't really remember. It was hazy, but I went down across the border with a couple of my friends, and last minute I had to get a new opponent. My guy didn't show up. I'm already like nervous like crazy because like I like jujitsu and I
Yeah.
get nervous for that too. But like leading up to that fight, like 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, I'm like telling myself like, man, I could potentially die. Like,
Oh,
on
you
that
can get
day.
your head kicked off.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, it's like you tap,
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah,
You
just
can
you
get-
tap and move off.
yeah.
Like that day, I could potentially die. You know what I mean? So leading up to that, and I'm just like thinking in my head, like, man, did I train hard enough? Yes, I did. I train every day. I'm cutting weight too, so I'm dying. I fucking
That's the
hate.
confidence,
I fucking
man.
hate cutting weight. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like, I made that weight. I got down there, and then when my opponent switched on me, I'm like, man. Again, I could potentially die. I don't even know who this guy is. You know, I see
Could
him.
be a
I'm looking
killer.
at him. Yeah, he could be a killer. You know, I have no idea. So I'm looking at him, kind of sizing him up. All right, whatever. Let's fight. You know, as I'm getting ready to fight, I see Mark Hominick and them. They're like, yeah, they want to corner me. So they corner me.
Oh, that's blessed.
And so I felt even more confidence. You know, I had like some really top killers, like UFC fighters in my corner, you know, like not this guy, you know?
So is there a reason you haven't gone back? Is it just because things have been going so well with jiu-jitsu? Is it something you would ever like?
Yeah,
is it
things
just
have been going so well with jiu-jitsu, and I just want that world title. Like
Yeah.
I'm craving a
respect
world
that, man.
title in any organization, really. But obviously, I beat JJF in the gi.
That's the
right?
one.
Right?
Because
Yeah.
like we just had our good friend Scott on here, and there's a guy who coaches guys, and I mean, like, you are the type of guys we would love to have as a coach, right? Like, so if you ever decide, or if you ever get that world title and move on, you know who to holler at. Like,
Yeah,
I
How
would
did,
love to
that
see
MMA
you.
fight go? How did that MMA fight go?
So it was really quick. It was under.
Yeah,
it was
it wasn't
under a
very
minute.
I watched it.
A couple of jabs and crosses, keeping it real, like Hicks and Gracie. Quick body lock, and I just took him down to the ground.
You landed right into Mount, no?
Right into Mount,
Hicks
yeah,
and Gracie,
just
I like
classic
that.
Hicks
Shout
and
out.
body lock and trip, like my coach calls it, right into Mount, and that was like right before that I hit like a jab cross, took him down, and then now I'm like debating: do I go for jiu-jitsu or do I finally have a chance to like just punch the shit out of this
punish
guy? You
him.
know, so I just punched him a bunch of times, like I got my fun in, and I go for my arm bar. And of course, he does like some kind of weird like rollout. And now
When you're fighting, guys are a little more amped than
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
yeah, right. It was
They're
insane.
fighting for their life more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's different.
it was like he realized he was gonna lose the fight and didn't want to lose, so he just flipped up out of nowhere. I was very shocked. He ends up on top of me, and right before he's about to punch me in the face, I just got another armbar and just cranked it.
Well, now it's in your game. You're the guard, and you're like, oh, this is cute.
Yeah, you know, it was like instant reaction. Like I had to do it, but even 10 times faster. As he pulled his arm back, snapped the armbar on the other arm, and he just tapped like tap, tap, tap. And I was just like,
So before
thank
we
God.
get out here, go ahead and promote yourself. Where can people get a hold of you, guys? I've trained with this guy in terms of
Yeah,
privates.
he's one of the best, man.
One of the
One of
most
the best.
cerebral. Like, don't let the fact that he's athletic and has all. It's dude, a lot of people, they confuse it. He actually is a very cerebral guy. So just give yourself the shot where people can find you on social media, where they can find you anywhere, where they can train with you. Just do your promo now.
So you can find me at Brampton Legends MMA and in Hamilton Stony Creek at Absolute BJJ / House of Champions with Gabe Sagman and Crew Lynn. And otherwise, I just do private lessons in Toronto downtown area or even in Scarborough. We can like link up and make appointments like that.
What about your social media where people can link you?
You can follow me at Darce Bolo. That's my athlete
Bolo.
account, or just Darson B. Hemmings, my full name. And you just follow my journey there. As we talked about earlier, I'm just trying to chase that world title, that last little bit I need. Otherwise, I've captured them all and, just living life now. So.
Awesome. Well, guys, like I said, man, we're so happy to have a guy at this level on here. Like I said, as you can tell, very cerebral guy. Really breaks down the sport very well, at least for a guy like me who's had a lot of coaches. I've enjoyed that time we trained. Definitely got to do it again.
He's accomplished the most out of anyone I know here in Toronto for jiu-jitsu. He's a trailblazer for jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is relatively new still here, so,
Thank
mad
you for
OG
coming by.
right now.
Definitely. Well, I'm Tyson the Beast.
Balkan boy,
That's our boy Darson. We're Thicc Boy.
Oh.
gang.